When most of us think of the word success, we likely think of someone like Richard Branson, someone who's a billionaire, has a lot of money, status, and seems to be very happy. But what if Richard just wanted a quiet life, in the hills of England, reading books, spending time with his family, but instead, like a drug dealer, just couldn't stop creating businesses and making deals and catching the attention of the public eye? I think we would then have to say that he was unsuccessful, no matter how much his life reflects our conventional definition for success. This is not an original idea of mine. A man named Derek Sivers coined it, but it nicely illustrates how you have to know someone's intentions and goals before you can determine whether or not they are successful. So why is Richard Branson successful then? Well, the same reason that any of us would be successful, because he's doing exactly what it is he needs to be doing. He's gone out and found what makes him feel most alive and allows him to contribute to humanity in the best way possible. And then he's made that a part of his everyday life. Richard is lucky though. His personal version of success reflects pretty much what we as a society deem to be successful. But what if, as a society, we thought success was dancing around a fire in your underwear, playing pan flute? I can tell you where Richard would be. He'd be doing the same thing he's doing now. He's the type to chase his own mission, no matter what people say, or no matter what society thinks. How he lives his life is true to himself, and that's success. How much of this can we say is true for ourselves? Sadly, for the most part, none of us really go after what we want at all. We spend our life in pursuit of what we are groomed to think we want: money, status, and material objects. We allow others to tell us what we want and what is a good way to live our life. And then we go and grind ourselves to the bone, trying to make it come true. A lot of us think that by pursuing the career that we picked out of a pre-approved bucket, that we're doing the noble thing, we're fulfilling our potential. But that's just not true. It's a lie that we tell ourselves for reassurance, so that we don't have to go through the hard work of introspection and questioning the life that we've made for ourselves. We fear the answers that we'll get so much that we avoid the process completely and just grit our teeth and keep pushing through. Rather than humbly say that we were wrong and that we need to go through some more self-discovery, we prefer to keep our ego intact and become just another person who merely tolerates their life. I hope that this isn't the case for anyone. I hope that when people tell me that they love their job, that they genuinely do, and don't just say it to trick themselves and others. Preferably, I would like this video to not apply to anyone, and for me to just be a weird outlier who overthinks things. Unfortunately though, I just don't think that's the case. In order to address this problem, we need to take some stock in our own lives and start asking some questions. So, what happens if things turn out best case scenario with what you are doing right now? What happens if your salary triples, you get given your dream house, your boss gets fired and you become the boss, and your Instagram followers skyrocket into the millions? What then? Well, based on years of people studying the parts of psychology and philosophy that speak to hedonic adaptation, we can probably make a pretty good guess. You're going to feel ecstatic and excited for a brief period of time, and then that's going to wear off. And then you'll realize not much has changed at all. You still have to go and do the same thing each day. Your life means the same as it did before, and you probably still feel the same way about it. You're going to be waiting for Fridays and dreading Mondays, and you're probably still going to be overworked and underappreciated. And if you're lucky, at the end of it all, you might even get a few weeks each year sipping bintangs and barley and getting sunburnt. So whilst hearing this might make us feel uncomfortable and want to go and make some rash decisions, the answer probably isn't going to your boss and telling them to go and make love to themselves and quitting your job and then going to tan on a beach for the rest of your existence. That would just lead to an array of other problems after the novelty of your new life wore off. We can, however, start this process by recognizing that our current path is not taking us anywhere that we really want to go. And from here, it's merely a problem-solving process guided by the right questions. If I didn't have to trade my time for money, what would I want to work on? What problems would I want to solve? What aspects of my life are the biggest pain points? If I had to spend my time working on something that had to be productive, what would that be? There's no point in us making drastic changes in our life if we don't first figure out where it is that we're going. See, the thing is, most of us have never really taken the time, nor have had much of a chance to consider what it is that we really want. We've all been so preoccupied figuring out how to win in a system designed for production and consumption, not happiness and fulfillment, that the thought of creating, pursuing, and living an alternative life, one molded precisely for us, never really crossed our minds. Without knowing it, we take the long way to figuring out who we are. By trial and error, we put our heart and soul into pursuits just to find out they're not even for us. We spend years obtaining degrees, tolerating relationships and battling it out in shitty jobs, just to find out that the thing we were told would make us happy did not make us happy at all. However, if we put even a fraction of this energy into looking inward and figuring out what it is that we want as an individual, and then pursuing that, the path to happiness becomes a much shorter and more enjoyable one. So back to Richard. We need to find our equivalent of what he has. We need to find the work that we want to do, what we want to create and put out into the world, what we want to connect with people on and feel happy to spend our time doing. We need to find our passion. Our passions are not merely things that just bring us pleasure. If that were the case, all of us would be passionate about drinking mojitos on the beach all day and building up likes on Instagram. Passions are more than just enjoyable. They're the things that we love doing even when they're unenjoyable. Our passions are the things that make us forget to eat. They make us not want to check our phones. They're the things that we like doing simply for the sake of doing them, regardless of any potential reward or outcome. Our passions bring out the best in us because we are most alive and most ourselves whilst we are doing them. Some of you watching this may be fortunate enough to already know what your passions are, and if so, consider yourself lucky. If you are one of these people and you're yet to pull the trigger on immersing yourself in a world that you know will bring you a great deal of fulfillment, stop waiting and go. The timing is never perfect, and all the lights are never green at the same time. You have to make the plunge and just start. Work out the kinks as you go. However, if you are like most of us, you haven't even considered the word passion to be a part of your vocabulary. You thought passion was reserved for those talented folk who played music or painted pictures, never something you pictured yourself having. This is simply not true. You were not placed on this earth to do something that drains and confines you. It is your responsibility to find the things that light you up and allow you to contribute to the world in the unique way that only you can. This process of change may not be an easy one or a quick one, but it is one that is worth it. And it might just be the most worthy thing that you ever do. Thanks for watching today, guys. I really hope you're able to find some value in today's video. And if you'd like to see other videos just like this that I make in the future, please be sure to subscribe.